gosh. Anyways, chapter 2. I'm like obsessed with the build. It's giving. Okay. I wonder if we get to pick any choices or not. I don't know. Attending to a lady's every need and overseeing a manor house where indeed disparate tasks. Alice aiding my transition bore a stern demeanor, leading us up and down the stairs innumerable times. By its conclusion, my limbs trembled like a fledgling foal. I'm utterly cream crackered. Cream cracker? Guys, what's going on? Wearily propelling myself nearly at the brink of collapse, I entered the servants' hall. This is bougie. At the sunset, a bustling crowd had gathered. I sank into the nearest chair, exhaling with a heavy sigh. Ugh, my limbs are aching. I hope I can rise again tomorrow. While I was massaging my weary legs and pondering, a man quietly occupied the seat across from me. He scrutinized me with a pensive stare, deeming me a stranger. Okay, so he doesn't like us. I'm not sure if I recognize you. I'm new to this place, as you can see. Huh, no wonder you don't seem to know me. I'm Thomas. Okay, Thomas, sounds like you got a big head. Clara. When I ignored his hand, he discreetly wiped his damp palms on his apron, a smirk settling upon his features. Oh. He then continued speaking, adopting an air of sagacity. Right you are. You've clearly had a day of it. All tuckered out, are you? Absolutely. I could barely lift a finger. That explains the lack of handshake. Well, fret not, my dear, for this culinary wizard is about to whip up something scrumptious to revive you. Okay, so he's the chef. I was like, who are you? A short while later, Thomas reappeared, a plate in his hands, his face softened by the desire to comfort. He held a warmth that contrasted with the coldness in my stomach. The aroma of the food that Thomas had painstakingly prepared filled the air, but it failed to entice my senses. I took a small taste, more out of obligation than desire, and Thomas's face instantly became a mask of worry. Is it really that dreadful? Well, you do seem a bit unsure of yourself for a chef, wouldn't you say? Perhaps it's because I find myself playing cook for the day. He let out a big sigh as if the weight of the world was on his shoulders. Right, well, the thing is, Mary up and left suddenly, which threw us into a bit of a tizzy, you see. And I've been doing my best to pick up the slack, so to speak. Who's Mary? Ah, well, uh, she was the one who looked after the mausoleum before you, as it were. Utterly surprised by Thomas's knowledge of things I had not shared, I asked, "And how exactly did you deduce that I'd be the new mausoleum keeper?" Well, whispers about you've been swirling around the manor for days like leaves in a storm. Why can I not stop yawning? It'd be quite the feat to remain completely oblivious, you see. Whispers about what? Oh, mostly about your tenure, of course. We've even placed a friendly wager amongst ourselves on just how long you'll last before throwing in the towel. My eyebrows shot up in astonishment at his audacity. How could he possibly make a bet without knowing who the other person was? Girl, calm down. You're so dramatic. Catching my disbelieving stare, he let out a disgruntled sigh. Why can't I Hey, don't give me that look. I was on your side. I bet that you would persist for a week. A week. Okay, is this job really that bad? The mask of pleasantness on his face finally cracked, revealing a glimpse of the man beneath. As my disapproval became apparent, Thomas stammered out some excuse about needing to urgently attend his duties and scurried away, seeking refuge in the kitchen. With a heavy sigh that echoed through the room, I laid my fork and knife. The meal, unfortunately, had been a disappointing affair. Why are we so proper? Like, other people don't seem this proper. Everything's just gotta be harder for us. Why can't we be a country bumpkin? Gosh. I suppose I should return to my chamber. Upon entering my assigned room, I was greeted by an unexpected spectacle. To my astonishment, it was an entirely private chamber. In abodes with limited space, shared lodgings were the norm, so I had expected something similar here. Am I their lost daughter or something? I hastily dismissed my unwarranted captivation, delivering a stinging slap to my own cheeks as a reprimand. Goodness, girl. Are people really that crazy? Like, it must be their long lost daughter. Let me just nap out of it. How dare I? My girl is fine. This was not the time for frivolousness, is what I'm gonna say, because I feel like it comes from the same part. Especially with the bet riding on my resilience. I need to prioritize the organization of my attire and possessions, followed by a thorough examination of the established guidelines. It should be on the drawer. My gaze swept across the room, landing on bleh, upon a delicate stack of papers precariously perched atop the dresser. I snatched it up and delved into the instructions. Let me see. Employee handbook. Manor layout. The estate consists of three distinct areas: the main manor house, a separate annex building, and a garden. The manor house spans 3 floors above ground and basement level. Left wing is employee, right is private residential. Basement is storage and culinary space with areas accessible only to authorized servants. Annex is 2 above-ground stories and a basement level. This building is for guests, and the garden is divided into 3 sections: carriageway, outer yard, and courtyard. The unbreakable policy. Yeah, I didn't need to know any of that other crap. A code to abide by. Manor manifestations. Strange and unexplained events can occur within the manor. I'm A failure to comply with the following policy will absolve us of responsibility for any resulting incidents. Confidentiality mandate. All occurrences within the manor must be kept secret from the outside world. This is a contractual obligation, and any breach will result in disciplinary action according to the policy. 2. Restricted passageways. Do not enter corridors where shadowy figures are known to manifest. During daylight hours, these corridors often become inhabited by humanoid shadows. I'm going to literally pee myself. What the heck do you mean? Why is this happening? Okay. While no physical contact has been reported, we suspect potential danger and entry is strictly prohibited. If your duties require to be in these areas, inform your supervisor and seek alternative assignments. 3. Vacant chamber protocol. Leave vacant chambers ajar, not sealed. Out of respect for our guests, entry shall only occur after a polite knock and an audible confirmation. If an unanswered knock is received, seek a supervisor to address the issue. 4. Sunset prescription is what I'm going to say. No movement allowed after sunset. For safety reasons, the manor operates during daylight hours only, prohibiting authorized personnel from moving after sunset. What if I gotta go pee? Dang, that would suck in the winter. It gets dark at like 4 p.m. Occasional noises may occur after hours. We advise ignoring them, as they typically subside on their own. Oh my gosh, are we gonna die in this house? I think I'm gonna die in this house. I think I'm gonna die in this house. Sounds near your door often originate from night watchmen. Please do not be alarmed. What do you mean, night watchmen? Mealtime protocol. The Lord's family meals follow a predetermined schedule. Setting the table and presenting food will always increase the number of occupants by 1. Serving guests will also increase the head count by 1 person. If someone joins mid-meal, non-compliance is permitted. Discourse directive. Avoid lengthy conversations with Lord Edward. I want a lengthy conversation with Lord Edward, my blonde, beautiful baby. Interaction is permitted when necessary, but refrain from initiating conversations unless invited. If someone brings business to Lord Edward, promptly direct them to Olivia Quiller. Outbuilding ordinance. Unauthorized access to the outbuilding is strictly prohibited, except for the stables and the mausoleum. Currently, outbuildings are restricted to designated personnel of and the family of the manor's proprietor. If accompaniment to an outbuilding is required, obtain permission from your superiors beforehand. My mind reeled from the intricate details of the instructions, causing a dizzy sensation. With a defeated sigh, I reluctantly set the document aside. Girl, I don't even know, I'd probably throw myself out that window, to be honest. I love the cute little hat. I don't know where the cute little hat. Anyways, the complexity of the instructions left me staggered with a barrage? I don't know, of unanswered questions lingering in my thoughts. This is hard to believe. Yeah, duty beckoned, and the handbook remained a necessity for the present. I swiftly stored it away and set about organizing my garments and provisions. My modest belongings found their proper places with ease. Disposing of my day's attire, I hung them neatly and settled onto the bed, closing my eyes. I surrendered to a surge of thoughts. The imposing exterior of the manor might suggest otherwise, but the inhabitants did not seem inherently wicked. As the day's events began to fade into the background, I found myself replaying the faces and voices of those I'd met. The coachman, the perceptive footman, Miss Quiller, an enigmatic person, and the meticulous supervisor, Alice. And then there was Thomas, the one whose condescending manner left an unpleasant aftertaste. Girl, you are far too sensitive. He was fine. But it was Lord Edward, the heir to the manor, who held my attention. As he should, Pookie. His gaze, tinged with concern, lingered in my mind, a stark contrast to the resentment he seemed to invoke in others. He didn't seem that bad. This is literally me. I'm like, yeah, he like kills people, but like, did you see the way he smiled at me? Like, he would never hurt me. Like, she's Delulu like me. Anyways, if everybody's telling you a person's bad, go find out for yourself. What? Sometimes they're wrong. Plus, it's more fun that way. Anyways, my mind teeming with thoughts sought solace in slumber. A yawn involuntarily escaped my lips as I rubbed the corners of my eyes, succumbing to the overwhelming fatigue that enveloped me. Okay, I'm taking off my glasses. That's probably not a great decision because I gotta read, but I think I'm gonna die in this house. Sorry. That has been stuck in my head 24/7. In the blink of an eye, I drifted into the realm of dreams, leaving behind the day's events. The jarring resonance of a knock tore me out of the brink of sleep. With a groggy mind, I surveyed my surroundings, only to discover the room surrounded in impenetrable darkness. Oh my gosh, I'm gonna literally crapoly. Oh, girl, why are you answering? Oh my gosh. What do you mean it was dark? It looks bright still. Anyways, struggling to regain my bearings, I hastily assessed my attire, then cautiously approached the door, my thoughts racing with the impending disruption. Do not answer that door, you dumb hoe. Who? A sudden realization struck me as I instinctively held back my words. The established guidelines clearly stated that any visit extending beyond the designated working hours were to be dismissed. Even I remember that, and I can't remember nothing. This was a policy adhered to by all, and I had no doubt that my fellow servants would uphold it as well. Yet, if this was the case, then why did the insistent knocking persist? Clara, are they not informed that this room is occupied? The handbook's mention of watchmen suggests that the knocking could be from one of them operating within the confines of the policy. Girly Pop, if you answered that dang door, you are an idiot. But I also kind of just want to see what happens if you do. If it gives us the option, we're gonna save it. We're gonna do it. I don't know if this game has options. It raised the question of whether it would be wise to open the door and inform the night watchman of my presence. As the knocking continued, I engaged in a lengthy deliberation. Uh, oh, my mouse turned off. Hold on. Okay. First decision. We're gonna open the door and see what happens. Decorum, one would presume, demands a moment pause to ensure the invitation before answering a knock. However, the insistent, urgent rhythm of knocking hinted at an impending crisis. Alarmed, I inquired, eager to identify the person on the other side. Who's there? The door stilled for an instant, battering, replaced by a familiar voice that echoed through the corridor. It's me, Olivia Queller. With a press of my lips and an eye roll, I hesitantly cracked open the door. Miss Queller's pitiful expression met me from the other side. I. My apologies. Never in my wildest dreams could I have imagined being sent home for violating the rules on my very first night. Thomas would have been in stitches if he'd seen this, his laughter filling the room. Yet, as I steeled myself for a harsh reprimand, Miss Queller, with an unexpected kindness, offered me words of consolation. Unwind yourself. I came to check knowing this would happen. I inferred that multiple individuals had faced repercussions for the reckless disregard of the rules, judging by Miss Queller's unannounced visit. Despite my initial apprehension, I was immensely grateful that no disciplinary action was forthcoming. A sigh of relief involuntarily escaped my lips. Do keep in mind, though, a second lapse is impermissible. Indeed. With a sigh of resignation, I closed my door behind Miss Queller, watching her retreating figure disappear around the corner. Okay, but why are you outside? Why are you outside and I can't be outside? That's my question. Cause I just want to know. I just want to know. Just a little bit. I want to know. Anyways, how boring that that's all that happened. A lingering embarrassment of my close call threatened to engulf me. I was on the verge of burying my flushed face in a pillow when another knock compelled me to reopen the door. How? I just watched Miss Queller walk away, and I closed the door behind her. Who could possibly be knocking on my door if not her? Bum bum boom. My body, paralyzed with a mixture of horror and anticipation, remained motionless, as if suspended in time. She didn't answer the door. I wanted her to answer the door because I want to see what the heck is knocking on people's doors. Like, who's knocking on our door? Oh my gosh, there's Jesus and Mary, I think. Oh my gosh, wait, this is probably their family. But in my brain it's Jesus and Mary. Anyways, hey Jesus, hey Mary. As dawn broke, sleep continued to elude me, leaving fatigue as my unwelcome companion. I persevered through the morning, but the solitude of the mausoleum proved too much for my weary body. With each methodical sweep of the floor, my eyelids succumbed to the allure of sleep. My head sank lower until a warm sun's embrace. Let me just.
とても疲れているようですね。
This has gotta be the man of the manor because. Wait, is there any way I can get him to speak in English? If we can, we will. No. Okay, it's fine. It's fine. You seem to be exceptionally fatigued. I jolted awake. He is beautiful. What do you guys? He's like kind of pretty, you know? Like, hold on. A figure emerged from the shadows, its presence casting a chill over me. It was the Lord, an imposing figure I'd been warned against. I feel like he should be taller. To me, he seems not that tall. Like, we seem to be on par with him. Like, you know? His hands gently cradled a floral arrangement, presumably a tribute to the departed. My lips quivered, torn between embarrassment and awkwardness. Hello, it's quite splendid afternoon, isn't it? The Lord, taken aback from the transient moment, revealed a tranquil smile.
はい、いい天気です。あなた
I'm
は
not
起き
going to
ている
talk
みたい
over
で。
him. Indeed, it's a delightful afternoon, though not for you, I presume. Well, I couldn't get much sleep last night.
おや、どうして
Oh dear, what happened? I'm not interrupting when he speaks because it sounds beautiful and I can't make myself do it because I don't want to hear myself talk. I want to hear him talk even though I don't speak that language. It doesn't matter. It's just something unsettling occurred during the night.
ああ、
Ah. I did not need to do that one. It's funny. Lord Edward nodded sagely, his expression indicating that he had grasped the nature of the unsettling event.
私はもう慣れていますが、初めての方にとっては恐ろしいことかもしれませんね。
Whoa, he's speaking fast. I've grown accustomed to it, but it might seem daunting to those unfamiliar with this manner. Has this occurred frequently for you?
お母さんが亡くなってからずっとですね。だから、私は慣れてい
What?
ますね。
He said, since my mother's passing, yes. It's been happening for a while. Since your mom died, is she haunting the place? Are you haunting the place? I don't know. I'm scared. Mom, come get me. With an air of poise and reverence, Lord Edward swept past me, his movements exuding an effortless grace. He gently lowered himself to the ground, his hands carefully placing the bouquet of flowers upon the tombstone. As the sunlight brushed against his closed eyelids, an ethereal glow emanated from the corners of his eyes, casting a mesmerizing aura around him. I could stare at him all day. It was a sight of such captivating beauty, almost surreal, that I found myself questioning the reality of the scene unfolding before me. Girls over here like, is this real? Am I still dreaming? With a final murmur of prayer, Lord Edward gently opened his eyes, his expression serene, composed.
ともあれ、この邸宅に来たことを歓迎します。
In any case, I extend a heartfelt welcome to you. Pookie, the pleasure is all mine. Let me stay here forever. Let me stay in your chambers. What you talking about?
もし何かあったら気軽に話してください。
And I encourage you to reach out whenever you feel the need for conversation or simply someone to listen. His considerate attitude started to thaw my suspicions. Please call me Clara. A sudden chill crept down my spine, wrenching my attention away from the task. As I turned around, I found myself locked in Alice's gaze, her expression as unreadable as ever, a broom held firmly in her grasp. Her unexpected presence disoriented me, as if I had been under the impression that I would be working alone today. Who is Alice again? Sweeping? Not done yet? Anticipating the scolding that seemed to loom, I shot Lord Edward a momentary, apprehensive look. His composure suggested that he had anticipated Alice's actions, and he discreetly turned away. Oh, don't help me,
仕事
okay.
中でしたね。続けてください。
He speaks really fast. I must have arrived at an inopportune moment. Please continue with your task. Alice's stern countenance eased as the man entered the house. She looked at me nervously. Nervously? Nervously. Oh, I'm sorry. I was rigid. It's all right. Nothing untoward happened. In fact, he seemed very kind. Kind? You haven't witnessed the low-life nature of his. He has a low-life nature. He seemed very sweet and proper to me. Alice's head swayed in disapproval as she whispered her disgust at the idea, but her reaction barely made a dent in my thoughts. Are they all possessed or something? Because that man was nothing if not sweet. Or is he just being a faker right now? Being like, yeah, I'm so nice, but I'm actually evil. I'm gonna, like, serve you for dinner. Our interaction was brief and unremarkable. He simply expressed his concern for my well being. However, I knew Alice would dismiss my account with disbelief, prompting me to release a heavy sigh. Whom am I to trouble myself over such matters? He's the heir to the grand estate, and I am but a humble servant. I have my hands full with duties, that's for certain. Girl, we don't need duties. We need wifely duties. Apparently, there's plot twists in this a lot, and it's like really good, so I'm excited. I just wish we had more options. Hopefully, we get to choose more things in the future, because that would be fun. Okay. With a resolute shake of my head, I pushed the thoughts aside and stepped into the manor. The distraction may be swift, but the work is eternal. Good morning, everyone. Clara, how come you're up this early? I happen to get up early. Plus, I have deep cleaning coming up, don't we? Oh my goodness, Bruce, our little Clara's grown up to be a big maid. I've always been a maid. Their playful snorts hung in the air, hinting at their enduring perception of me as a familiar face. I quelled a sigh and gathered my equipment, knowing I have to navigate the manor yet again as the new kid. Girl, I be getting so lost. 2 months have passed since I arrived at the manor. Oh, okay, we've been here for a minute. Which meant that Thomas should be drowning in regret by now over his empty wallet. But in their eyes, I remain a newcomer. Well, that's a shame for you, but I'm already feeling confident. With a murmured sigh, I embarked on my ascent, my gaze drawn to the ethereal sunlight streaming through the windows. The corridors, once steeped with an enigmatic aura of mystery and trepidation, now seemed less ominous, their gloom dispelled by the gentle embrace of the morning sun. Ugh, there's a shadow again. Despite my growing familiarity with the manor's layout, I still couldn't shake off the lingering sense of disquiet that hung to its walls. With a furrow creased my brow, I swiftly pivoted and descended the stairs, my eyes darting nervously away from the lurking shadow. Opting for a longer route, I decided to circumvent the left corner, my heart pounding with a mix of apprehension and determination. The shadow's ominous presence loomed large, casting a pall over my otherwise resolute steps. I'm running late. Anticipation quickened my steps as I rounded the bend, for I sensed the presence of one awaiting me. Good morning. Have you come to make another visit to the mausoleum today? Ah, Pookie! True to my expectations, Edward sat poised before the tombstone, our invisible connection drawing him to this familiar spot. As I approached, his face lit up with a smile as radiant as a flower in full bloom. A silent welcome transcended words.
うん。今日に限って日差しがよく当たるね。いい天気だよ。
Indeed, indeed I have. The sun is bright today. Lovely weather. I agree, it's almost spring. So are we like the only ones that are nice to him? Because everybody else seems to like be scared of him. ASMR. There's a lot of reading in this, so I gotta stay drinked up. I agree, it's almost spring. Upon the closer acquaintances with Lord Edward, I discovered a stark contrast between the perceptions other had instilled in me and the reality of the man himself. He possessed a depth of compassion that defied the callous reputation he bore, and a trait that slowly chipped away at the preconceived notions I had harbored. Sorry, guys. I'm like struggle busting. Why am I yawning and dying? It's my freaking sinuses. My instincts, though often dismissed as unreliable by those who deemed me insensitive, seemed to be offering a more nuanced understanding of Lord Edward. Though repeated interactions, I began to discern qualities that had eluded me before, a tapestry of kindness and empathy woven into the core of his being. Okay, okay, poetic. Even though he was a silent oasis of support amidst the flurry of fallen leaves that I raked the grass. That I raked the grass? What? I'm sorry, I got confused. Anyways, like a gardener tending to his plants, he listened attentively as I shared my thoughts, nurturing them with his presence. Could the frequency of could the frequent turnover of the mausoleum's attendant be the reason? But it's been 2 months already.
時間が経てばきっと良くなるだろう。トーマスはもう何も言ってないよ。
Things will likely settle down with time. Thomas, like you mentioned, doesn't seem to bother you anymore. Only because he lost the bet. My lord, I don't come across as childish, do I? Okay. Ah! I guess this is her version of like, am I pretty, gorgeous, beautiful? Do you love me? But like, why are they talking so cash? I mean, like, I don't know. I guess they're like friends. I guess we're friends.
ううん。クララは大人のように見えるよ。
Absolutely not. You seem quite mature, Clara. I am. You're not being sarcastic, are you?
褒め言葉だよ。
Why would I be? Uncertainty of the propriety of a servant forming such a close bond with their employer. I nonetheless found solace in the quiet moments that I shared with Lord Edward. As our conversations followed, I was struck with the unexpected parallels between us and the realization that sparked both wonder and curiosity. It was a curious phenomenon, the way the Lord and a servant, despite their vastly different stations, could discover a common ground that bound them together. The common ground is he's gorgeous and you like him. He likes us.
そういえば、おじがハガキを送ってきたよ。
He's also lonely. Like, I don't think any of his servants like him. Right, I received a postcard from my uncle. Lord Brandon? Girl, how do you know that? See, this is what I mean. Like, just get married already. Like, not really. Like, y'all, like, you're probably his only friend. Like, it even said in, like, the rules that, like, even people coming to come see him couldn't come to see him. They had to go through, I don't remember her name. They had to go through that Miss Queller first. Like, my poor man don't talk to nobody. Yes, he spoke of his desire to cross the vast oceans
写真を送ってくれると言ってい
this
たんだ。
time and pledged to send me pictures once he reached his destination. Yeah, see, I can't speak over it. It stresses me out. I'm like, "Mm." Plus his voice is beautiful. So, that sounds quite exciting. I'd love to travel like that someday.
そうだね。なんて美しいんだろう。
I share your sentiment. That would be a dream come true. A dream come true. Let's go together. Edward's expression softened into a wistful reverie, as if he were already aboard a ship, slicing through the waves on his own grand adventure. A youthful vibrancy previously concealed by his unusual stoicism now radiated from his features. For the first time, he looked his actual age. I'm guessing we're the same age. I placed my rake aside and settled myself down a comfortable distance away. Why not travel when you have the opportunity?
そうできたらいいのだが。
It would be wonderful, but an awkward smile smeared across Edward's face, his voice trailing off as he hesitated to continue. It was clear that he was dodging a particular subject, most likely the illness of Robert, the manor's ruler. Oh, are there more people living here? I'm so confused. How many people live here? I'm confused. I thought he was like the only one that lived here. I completely understand your hesitation. It's a sensitive topic. Edward's lips moved silently, forming and discarding words until he finally tried to mask his discoherent with a small smile over his
あ
face.
りがとう、クララ。
Thank you, Clara. What was that noise? The morning slipped away quickly, filled with lively conversation and laughter. The lunch hour had flown by, and now Edward, filled with regret, actively sought to help the remaining cleanup. Unfortunately, his efforts as cleaning proved less than fruitful, creating more work than he intended. As I organized the cleaning supplies, a sudden sound pierced the silence, drawing my attention. Bruce stood there, his arms folded across his chest, a playful smile dancing on his lips. Here we go again. Blimey, Clara! Where have you been hiding all morning? Now, Bruce, if I may remind you, my duties lie within the upkeep of a mausoleum. You've been with Lord Edward again. What's the meaning of again? It's not like we're glued to the hip or anything. Oh, really? Don't think I haven't noticed what's brewing. Honestly, Bruce got a point. Honestly, Bruce, give it a rest. It's not what you think. I cut off Bruce's interference with a firm voice, needing to focus on the precise task at hand. Bruce gave a nonchalant shrug, his unconcern evident with his casual posture. Come on, spill the beans. Everyone's nosy about where you've been all morning. Oh, please drop it, Bruce. I'm already on the edge after bumping into that thing again today. That's it, just 'cause of one of them little beasties? Doesn't make much sense, does it? What if I told you I was struggling to rake leaves? Well, that can be tiring work, I suppose. Bruce, I know this might sound silly, but you know how long it can take to learn something new? Don't make me feel bad about it. Bruce grinned broadly, showing off his crooked teeth that made him look a bit intimidating. I kept my face blank, refusing to let it get to me. All right, I'll give you the benefit of the doubt this time. Well, thanks for nothing. But better watch your step with Lord Edward. No nattering, that's the rule. Why do I feel like she's just mean? I feel like he's like trying to help her and just being like, hey, like, what's going on? And she's just like overly defensive. Is that how she's supposed to be? Or is this considered rude? I don't know. I feel like he's like not really being rude. I feel like we're a little sassy. I turned and walked away, feeling a slight chill despite the warm day. It's difficult to tell a lie, especially one so out of character. But nobody is interested in befriending Lord Edward other than me. Olivia's words about Lord Edward's rebellious and unpredictable nature echoed through my mind. Despite Lord Robert and Lord Edward being the masters of the manor, everyone seemed to unquestionably accept Olivia's portrayal of him. They don't believe me, but he's such a nice person. Why can't they see it? Despite Edward's insistence on leaving them alone if they weren't open to conversation, I dissented. His lack of assertiveness bothered me, especially since the respect of his was rightfully his due to the family members and an employer. I won't let him continue withdrawing from those around him. Drawing strength from Lady James' wisdom about relationships, I pushed open the door. Once inside, I was informed that Olivia had summoned me. Come in. I closed the door softly and approached her. The room was overflowing with papers and envelopes, clearly neglected due to the Lord's absence. Clara, at your service, ma'am. Taking a deep breath to steady my nerves, I offered a greeting. Olivia, her eyes momentarily glued to the documents before her, eventually looked up and removed her glasses. With a gentle press of a finger to her forehead, she acknowledged my presence. Oh, it's you. Have a seat. Girl, you summoned me. Of course it's me. I took a seat in the chair in front of her, perfect for a long, relaxing conversation. My desire to depart grew stronger with each passing moment. How may I help you? Alice happened to mention that you've been working through your lunch break, Clara. Is that so? Well, I was told that Mr. Robert cares for the mausoleum, so I haven't summoned you to reprimand you. I don't disapprove of your hard work in the slightest. I appreciate your understanding. However, I must insist that you don't skip meals. Stealing myself for what Olivia's potential dismissal, I was met instead with an unexpected praise for my meticulous work. Girl, why are we skipping lunch? This surprise was compounded by my previous anticipation for accusations of napping from either Alice or Bruce. Girl, you did nap one day. As I contemplated whether to rise, Olivia abruptly began divulging details of her personal situation. Clara, to be honest, the Lord hasn't been feeling quite himself lately. Oh. Oh no, is that so? Edward's downcast expression made sense now. This was what weighed heavily on his mind. Olivia's gentle smile and nod suggested a misunderstanding of my words. Yes, thanks to that, I'm in charge of his care. Thanks to that. I blinked, momentarily confused by Olivia's cryptic comment. Since I am unable to leave the manor, I would like you to pick up the medical supplies in my stead. My jaw dropped at the enticing offer. Pardon? If it poses too much of an inconvenience for you, there's no obligation. No, not at all. It's not difficult at all. I'm sorry if you guys don't like my little accent. I think it's really fun to do. So, Olivia's unexpected compliments were understandable now. Given the circumstances, I had little choice but to accept her offer. Why is everybody so happy that they sick? That's what I'm curious about. Recognizing the implications of Olivia's words and my own lack of options, I simply offered a smile. That settles it then. I'll notify you when we're scheduled. For now, concentrate on the primary tasks. As you wish. I'm counting on you, Clara. A graceful nod escaped my lips, masking the bewilderment that churned within me. Was entrusting such a task to a new maid truly wise? Perhaps Lady Jane's recommendation spoke volumes of my capabilities. Surely Olivia wouldn't assign this responsibility without unwavering assurance of my reliability. Okay. Wouldn't you agree, my lord?
まあ、オリビアはそんな紹介状一つで心を変える人ではないから。ただ君のことが気に入ったんじゃないか？
Why are we reliving something? Are we going to ask him to go with us? I'm so confused. Changing her mind about a reference letter isn't exactly Olivia's forte. Perhaps she simply, well, likes you, Clara. What aspect of my character?
オリビアだけが知っているだろう。
That's a question only Olivia herself can answer, I'm afraid. Edward lowered himself onto the grassy ground, and I took a seat beside him. Though I harbored some discontent, I nodded. I trust the journey will not be overly strenuous?
魚者がちゃんと連れて行ってくれるだろう。心配いらないよ。
I have full confidence in our coachman's ability to deliver you safely. There is no need for concern. I still have some butterflies in my stomach. Have you ever been there by any chance? Oh my gosh, are we being a pick me? I can't tell. I really can't tell what's happening and why we're talking to him. And like, we be snitching! We be snitching for real. Edward's head denied the question with a subtle shake. These trips were usually left to the servants, but his expression hinted at something unspoken. As I released a heavy sigh, a fugacious concept blossomed in my mind, leading me to redirect my focus. The sea! Girl, what? Huh? Alice mentioned the harbor near our destination. Why don't we venture there together? Girl, you just wanted to take a trip with him. Shut up. The path stretched slightly longer than anticipated, but with brisk steps we could chase the setting of the sun and reach the manor before dusk painted the sky. The harbor, apart from the sandy expanse of the beach, held its own captivating allure. I gazed up at Edward with enthusiasm, but he seemed somewhat perplexed. He's like, oh my gosh, she's crazy.
それはちょっと難しいんじゃないかな。
That might pose a bit of a challenge. If you're concerned about your father, he should be alright. We'll only be away for a day. Oh my gosh, is he a ghost? Is he a ghost? Is that why we're not supposed to be talking to him? Why can't he leave? Or are we a ghost and we're just walking around like, tee, 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 and he's like, oh my gosh, babes, you're dead. You know, like, what's going on? Well, there's that, but no, I'm sorry. A shadow of regret crossed Edward's face as he gently declined my suggestion. His lips were pursed slightly, and his usual bright eyes seemed to cloud with a hint of sorrow. Why can't you leave? Are you evil? Are you a ghost? Is that why people don't like you? I don't understand. The vibrancy of Edward's deep azure? I don't know. Eyes dimmed like the dying of embers of a fire, mirroring the unfathomable depths of the ocean. Okay, girl, you love him. A veil of disguised emotion clouded his face, hinting at a hidden turmoil within. Girl, it ain't really that disguised. Look at his face. The untold words of a hung the untold words hung heavy in the air, a tangible barrier between us. Edward's clenched jaw furrowed and his brows betrayed the secret that he chose not to share with me. Oh, you are genuinely beautiful. Look at him. He's so pretty. A wave of wistfulness washed over his face, momentarily morphing his features into a mask of near anguish. But the storm quickly subsided and replaced by a quiet resignation that settled upon his countenance like a veil.
クララ、君の言う通り、僕には屋敷を出ない他の理由があるんだ。
I didn't even look at the words he just said. I was just in awe of his voice with the view. Anyways, Clara, as you may have noticed, I have other reasons for not leaving the manor.
でも、君には言いたくない。
But I'm not sure if I want to talk about it. Ooh, what are they? Are you dead? Oh, I see.
うん、ごめんね。
Oh, yay? I'm sorry. A sharp pang of disappointment pierced my heart as he drew a line, like a cold blade severing the thread of intimacy. Yet I clenched my jaw and forced my muscles into a mask of neutrality, determined not to betray the storm raging within me. Girl, I knew that our bond, though cherished, lacked the depth and intimacy that warranted the sharing of a secret. We weren't confidants in the truest sense. The realization settled upon me like a cold, heavy cloak. Okay. Despite the churning turmoil, I forced the corners of my lips upwards in a semblance of a smile. I must have disturbed you. Please excuse my rudeness.
いや、クララ、全然迷惑じゃないよ。
No, Clara, you weren't rude at all. He want me bad. Anyways, despite the shadow of doubt that crossed his face earlier, Edward's demeanor changed, radiating
む
eagerness.
しろ嬉しかった。
Quite the contrary. His words filled me with a sense of perplexity. Despite possessing the freedom to depart, Edward seemed inexplicably confined within the manor. People treated him as a liability despite being employed by him and his family. Yeah, that's kind of what's throwing me off. Y'all are like, ew, grody, but like, ain't he paying your bills? That's your man? No, we not. Because when he gone, girl, I bet he'll stop. Bop. Anyways. And Edward endured it all with the unwavering submissiveness, never venturing beyond the manor's walls. It became glaringly obvious that the secrets he hoarded close in his chest were miss were the missing pieces of the puzzle of his existence. What the heck is going on? This is like a maze. Chapter 3. Okay, so that is the end of chapter 2. What are our thoughts? Why do people hate Edward? I'm confused. I don't get it. Number 2, he's a beautiful man, and we're friends with him now. And he cannot leave the manor. Why he cannot leave the manor, we don't know. I think it's because he's a ghosty. That's my thought process. But anyways, Y'all have a good day. We're going to end it here. I had so much fun. Bye.